Welcome to the Joy Work Show, the podcast that goes beyond the surface of business, right to the heart, to explore the real joy and the stories behind success, not just the moment of celebration, but the challenges that paved the way for them. Hiya, I'm Diane, and on this podcast, we know that joy isn't just about the good times. Often the greatest joy comes right after the greatest challenge. In the last 2 weeks, solo episodes, I have spoke about patience and then consistency. And I wanted to carry on that theme of something that comes up that often is the reason that we don't have patience or the reason that we struggle with consistency. And that is trusting yourself. How to silence the doubt and own your own decisions, or stay in your own lane when it seems that there is so many other things you could be doing. And when we think about business, one of the biggest silent business killers is self-doubt. When you speak to somebody who is struggling within their business and doesn't know how to trust themselves, doesn't have the patience, doesn't have the consistency every day, procrastinating, the one thing that is the common thread between it all is their own self-doubt. You know that little voice in your head that questions every decision, second guesses every move, and makes you hesitate just long enough to stop you doing the thing you want to do or to miss an opportunity. That's the self-doubt that we're talking about. It's exhausting. But the thing is that if you don't trust yourself, if you don't have the ability to trust in your decisions, no one else will either. And in business, that hesitation will cost you time, energy, and ultimately money. So I want to look a little bit further into why trusting yourself is essential, how to quiet the doubt, and how to start making decisions like the CEO you are, or perhaps want to be. So let's go. Trusting yourself is a non-negotiable. Every successful business owner you admire, have watched from afar and wish you could be a little bit more like them. They have made bad decisions. They have messed up. They have had moments where they questioned everything. But the difference, they didn't let that stop them. They kept moving. They had rebound ability. They were able to get back up. They understood that failure is part of the story, that they have the courage that then creates the confidence. Because the difference between all of those things, and especially confidence, it isn't about never being wrong. It's about trusting that even if you are, and even if you fail, you can handle it. And here's what happens when you don't trust yourself. You hesitate too long and miss opportunities. You constantly seek validation from others, which leads to decision fatigue and not building the business that you truly want to build. You pivot too soon or too often because you're unsure of your own judgment, so you don't know how to hold your own ground. Does that sound something familiar to where you are or where you have been? The beauty is, if you're aware of it, you can fix it. There is lots that you can do. So how do you start to build your self-trust? Trusting yourself is a skill. You'll have heard me say it in the last 2 episodes and many times before, and hopefully you'll hear me say it many times again. That everything is a muscle that we can teach. Anything can be honed and any skill can be learned. So trusting yourself is a skill, and like any skill, it gets stronger with practice. But how could you start? First place to start is when you have small decisions to make. Things that don't feel big to you, make them quickly. Start building confidence in your ability to decide. What are you having for lunch? What's your content plan this week? Now, the lunch question might seem a bit silly, but if you can make that decision quickly and deal with it and move on, you are being strategic about your day. You're looking after your body, you're making time to eat, you're making time for yourself, but you're not spending an hour deliberating over what you're going to have. It's quite often why highly successful people wear the same clothes, do workouts at the same time, do the same things at the same time every single day, eat the same things, because they remove decisions from their day, from their schedule, so that when they don't get decision fatigue, so they just leave space for things that really do need to be decided. So there's no second guessing there. Just decide and move on. You can look at your wins. You've already made decisions that have worked out. Write them down. Remind yourself of what you have done right. Now, if you're sitting there thinking there's been a lot of repetition through these last few solo episodes, you're absolutely right. But that's because all of these things, all of the strategies that help your patience, your consistency, your self-trust, your self-belief, are all intertwined. When you're working on one, you're working on the other. And when they all combine together, that is when you have the resilience, the reboundability, and when you start thinking like a CEO. So remind yourself of what you have done right. At the end of every day, I write down the best 3 things I've done that day that have moved the needle in my business, and the top 3 things I need to do the day after to make sure I continue that momentum. So rather than looking at my to-do list and thinking about, I haven't done this, I've still to do that, I look and think what I have done. And trust me, that makes settling down with my family a whole lot better at the end of the day. Stop crowdsourcing every decision. Seeking advice is fine. Having a coach or a mentor who you trust and who understands you and understands your business is brilliant. But if you're asking 10 different people before making a move, you're outsourcing your own power. You're taking away that trust. You're telling your mind and your body that you can only make good decisions when you have the validation of all of those around you, rather than building the self-trust within yourself and telling your mind and your body that I can actually make these decisions. I can do hard things, and look at the evidence of when I've got it right. You accept that wrong decisions are still progress. Every decision teaches you something. There isn't such a thing as a wrong decision. There might be something that you need to fix. There might be a path that you need to straighten after a decision. But even if it doesn't go as planned, you're moving forward instead of staying stuck. Every next action is just a decision away. Whether it's a good or a bad one, it's just a decision. And then you take the action, you take the consequences, and you move on again. But all the time you're telling yourself that you can make these decisions. Overcoming the fear of getting it wrong. If there was ever a tough love moment, this is the bit. No decision is a guarantee, and waiting for the perfect choice is just fear dressed up as logic. If you struggle with decision paralysis, I want you to think about it like this. Set a deadline. Give yourself a set amount of time to decide and stick to it. Use a simple framework. Ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario, and can I handle it? If yes, then go for it. What's the worst that could happen? Commit fully once you decide. No 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Trust yourself and your ability to adjust if needed. And if all else fails about a decision, toss a coin or throw a dice. When it lands on the other option, or whatever option it lands on, you will know in your gut if that feels right or wrong. So whether you choose to trust the coin or the dice, or trust yourself, is up to you, but you'll know exactly how you want to feel. At the end of the day, no one knows your business better than you. If you want clients, opportunities, and success to come your way, you have to trust yourself first. If you want your clients, your customers to trust you, your services, or your products, why would they if you don't trust yourself? So here's your challenge. Make one decision today without second guessing. Big or small, just decide and move on. And if you do need a little bit more support, help in building your CEO mindset, you can check out my 21-day strategy sprint. The link is in the show notes, and it's designed to help you step into your business with your confidence and your superpowers. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, I would love you to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It helps me find more business owners who want to work with joy. So thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you always for listening. Go out there, trust yourself, back yourself, and toss a coin if you need to. And I'll see you in the next episode, where I'll be joined with one of our wonderful guests.